creates 3D technology that helps kids cooperate with medical treatment. For those of you who have ever been hospitalized, you know how difficult it can be. And for a child, it's even more difficult. When children don't cooperate with medical treatment, whether because they're in pain or because they're afraid, the medical treatment is less effective. The children cost of care increases, reimbursements from payers to providers can decrease, and certainly family and patient satisfaction is impacted. This problem is pretty prevalent. Every hospital, every clinician that works with children faces this problem of getting kids to cooperate with their medical treatment. We started about a year ago with our first pilot customer to learn about this space, to get in and understand from the clinician's perspective, from the patient perspective. And today, we are in 14 hospitals across the United States, being used by clinicians, therapists, doctors, nurses. We are on track to make over $200,000 this year. We have an extremely healthy pipeline, and this is testament to the problem that we're facing. What we do is we use the devices that hospitals already own and have sterilization protocols for to trigger 3D augmented reality experiences off of cards, books, wall decals, off of everyday objects. So we can create a virtual environment that can encourage motion in 3D, or can encourage distraction therapy. It can help the kids get through the procedure. It's primarily used right now for two reasons. Distraction therapy, to get a child to divert their attention during painful or scary procedures so they cooperate inadvertently, but also for engagement with painful or frustrating treatment like occupational or physical therapy. The patient on the right was 7 years old when he had a brain aneurysm, and after he emerged from surgery, before he could go home, he had to relearn how to use his hands and arms. And a child doesn't care about occupational therapy milestones. They don't want to do that boring activity that's repetitive, painful, and frustrating for a 7-year-old who used to be able to feed himself and take care of himself. With Spellbound, they were able to keep Jack on track with his therapy, getting him to develop fine motor skills and mimic the motions he needed to be able to brush his teeth, the milestone he needed to hit before he went home. We make money in three main ways. The first is an annual subscription. Hospitals pay a per bed, per day fee to access the content through their mobile devices. Those mobile devices need to trigger off of our cards, books, wall decals, so we have a consumables model. You buy the razor blade handle the razor handle from us once, and the blades for life. And we also offer for top-tier hospitals that really compete on brand to allow them to include branded elements into those 3D experiences. It could be their logo, it could be their mascot, or the theme of their hospital. We have seen revenue through all three of these channels this year. For example, Lucille Packard Children's Hospital at Stanford, we came in through their centralized therapy department, sold to the therapists there for distraction therapy, and 43 days later expanded that deal through the CIO for hospital-wide rollout, as well as an additional branded license. We start with pediatric specialty hospitals. This is an obvious place to start. We get into those through the centralized therapy departments. Our ideal customer, hospitals with more than 100 licensed beds and a centralized therapy department, so a decision maker that can say yes. From there, we can easily move into related hospitals, larger health systems. We've already begun selling to other specialty hospitals, bone and joint specialty hospitals, and general health systems. That positions us well and validates us as a tool to move into the more than 400,000 community clinics that are in the US, as well as massive adjacent markets specializing in, say, physical therapy equipment, which is our next target. We leverage strategic relationships to scale our distribution for that. We compete primarily with the way they do it now, which is restrain children, hold them down, use sedation, anesthesia. No, the hospitals don't want to do this. It's effective. We're offering an alternative to that. There are other emerging competitors in the space, none of which have as broad reach as we do. We have an amazing team that's achieved all this. We've all been in startups, we've worked in healthcare, and are award-winning engineers, award-winning designers, and people who have learned to sell to higher ed before can sell to hospitals. Our vision right now is help them cope with the experience as it is. We know we can help the whole life cycle of hospitalization, preparation before you go in, managing it during and afterward when you're sent home with those instructions. Our vision is to grow the company in this way, as well as to serve beyond pediatrics into the adult market where we've already had requests. At that point, we have a lot of behavioral data, not self-reported data of whether you did your PT exercises at home or not. We have data about whether you were doing it, whether you were doing it right. And this is a huge opportunity for us to sell to payers or drug companies. We are Spellbound, and we are using cutting-edge technology to make a difference not only in patients' lives, but to help hospitals keep costs under control, as well as maximize their revenue. Thank you.